All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day of Nemesis playoff action. As oh boy, we've had some spicy ones thus far, and we got another day of action, day number 2 of the Nemesis playoffs. I'm Rockerman here, joined by the one and only Mr. Gallium. Gallium, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing absolutely splendid. If you see me clicking away, I'm actually spending my channel points to vote on this matchup, which I do suggest you guys do. It's going to be a great matchup to start off in my league, and Rockerman, we have bangers all throughout the night.
Yeah, we do have bangers all throughout the night. We got 5 spicy matchups coming your guys' way. It's gonna be a fun night. That is for sure here. So you guys definitely do not want to miss it. But first, why don't we take a look at things here as I'm gonna pull up the Prospect League playoff bracket where we're starting here. Origin versus Faded. Let's take a little bit of a quick look here at the playoff bracket. Gallium, what can you tell us thus far?
Now, it has been a very interesting prospect playoff slash play-ins. If you notice the play-in bracket match number 1 and 2, they were both sweeps. Wyvern swept Hypernova, got into that 7th seed, and Faded swept Ember to go and face Hypernova, who they beat to face off against Origin in this matchup today. Now, if you notice, in the quarterfinals as well on that side of the bracket, they also have the Banshees who 4-3'd the Melons in Game 7, also down 3-1 in the series, mind you. Had an incredible comeback. If you haven't watched the VOD, please do. And the winner of this game faces a Banshees team who on a little bit of the rise. Now, in total, this Prospect League bracket is just so stacked with so many good teams. Honestly, Rockerman, I can't tell you who's going to win the championship or even come close to it.
Yeah, no, it is spicy down there, and yeah, that matchup that we saw on Monday, that Game 7 thriller with the Banshees surviving, that one was crazy. And yeah, the winner of this matchup, Origin versus Faded, is going to take on the Banshees in that semifinal matchup. And well, why don't we take a look as we talk about this matchup, 1 versus 8. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape here for this one, Gallium. We got some star-studded teams right here.
Oh, yeah. We have some excellent players on both teams. Now, Origin has been playing with each other all season long as well as last season. So if there's any advantage they have over this Faded team, it's their rotations and how they play as a team. That is their strength. And if you notice, they're so good in the goals to shots department. 2.7 goals on average with 7.8 shots. Now, one thing I am looking forward to is seeing Faded with the save side. Now, they are 0.3 ahead of this Origin team in saves, but, you know, to this Faded team's credit, they haven't been playing actually together a whole lot. The first 2 play-in matches that they played were actually the first 2 they've ever played with each other as this roster. So we'll see if they can handle this Origin team who have been playing with each other for well over 2 seasons, and I'm just so excited to get this one underway, Rockerman.
As am I. This is going to be a good one here. Faded making their way through that play-in tournament to clinch that 8th seed, and they're going up against this Origin squad who running it back from the end of last season, looking to make some magic happen. And we are getting things underway here as we are into Wednesday here, playoffs day number 2. We got Origin versus Faded, 1 versus 8. Things are getting underway, and it's a first goal. Mr. Sweeney coming through, MVP from last season with the first goal.
Man, what a play from him. Bry misses his touch, and Air Sweeney going to put it into the back of the net. And what a goal to start things off here. I mean, Air Sweeney did tell me he went to the Boston Major, so maybe he picked up a little bit of Rocket League skills from there. We'll have to find out as Kyler's going to send one down. This is going to be a little dangerous, Rockerman. But, oh, wait, no way. That's another goal, right?
Oh.
Surely not. But early on, both these teams, we're seeing a little bit of glimpse of what's to come.
Yeah, and definitely in these 2 rosters, you kind of mentioned it, Faded, they're kind of trying to get their bearings. They've only, like you mentioned, played a couple games together, but this Origin squad, they have been playing together since, I guess, midway through last season, right before the trade deadline. Came over, made that run last season, and they have been one of the teams to beat, if not the team to beat, in the Prospect League this season, locking up that number 1 seed. And they start out with an early goal here. And the one thing, Gallium, to watch out for, as you're one of these 1 seeds or one of these teams who didn't play in the play-in tournament is you got to overcome some nerves, but, they're doing so far so good as Frosty. Got to find a second.
The all-star, whether it was a fluke or not, he is here to play, and he's going to send one down the pitch, and put it in the back of the net. A little bit of a rotational issue early on for Faded, and that has cost them not one, but 2 goals here. And you have to wonder, Rockerman, if this is going to be kind of a sign for things to come.
Yeah, it could be dangerous here, but they're going to come right back with a goal. Volkron putting it home.
And I'm surprised Volkron isn't rocking the Dominus. He's usually rocking the long body car, but whatever works, and he's going full Galleon mode. Reaper Wheels activated. Rockerman, what a goal to start things off for Faded.
And Faded finally on the board here in this first round matchup, and they've already gotten 3 goals so far in just over a minute here. As the demo are going to come through, you're going to have to watch out for those ones. These Origin guys, especially Mr. Waffles, he is a demo fiend. He is always going to be hunting for those. You got to watch out for him. This one came through there, but Origin not quite able to capitalize on that one. Is now Faded, sending down Bry towards the net there, but touch off to the side there. Pop back up towards the net. Can be sent away to the corner. Dr. Waffles now on the dribble. This ball going to pop up high. Sweeney looking to stay up with this aerial, shooting it towards the net. Faded. Got to get to a little bit of a double commit comes through, but not quite going to find its way into the back of the net here. As we're about 2 minutes into this one, Gallium, and we saw a quick flurry of goals here. As this one going to be parried off to the side. Quick flurry of goals, but not much sense.
No, not really. And I think they're both just trying to figure out their game as of right now. I mean, Bry, he was so good in his last play-in series, and he is definitely the star player for this Faded team. So if this Faded team wants to have a chance in this game 1 down by 1, they're going to have to let him cook up a little bit.
Yeah, they definitely will. He is going to be the X factor for Faded for sure. Is this one going to be saved away by Waffles and sent over to the side? Bry going to look to take this one up, but going a little bit the wrong ways. There's Waffles, the prospect demo leader, looking for some bumps as a shot fired on net. Faded. A little bit of a triple coming here. Waffles going to dive through. Able to keep this one in the zone. Opportunity here for Sweeney. Can't quite get the power he's looking for, though, as this one sent back down. As Waffles now trying to take control. This one pops up. Here comes Sweeney. Gonna send it back into the Faded zone. This ball pushed away by Kyler and pinched out. Waffles looking to dive in here. This ball going up high. Here comes Frosty trying to get it down. Passing out of the midfield, but Bry all on top of that one. As that one saved away, and a demo for Waffles. It opens up the net, but the spawn comes through just in time as he finds another demo there. As this one actually could be shot to his own net. Sweeney has to make the save, but it's still dangerous. But Faded can't quite capitalize. I thought for a second we might have seen a little prospect moment there, Gallium.
Man, that was too close for comfort there. The defense almost let one slip, and that wouldn't have been very good. And for this Origin team, who had a little bit of a disappointing end to their Season 8 last season in the playoffs, I'm sure that this round 1, this quarterfinals match, is not something to take lightly for them, Rockerman.
No, I know they've been grinding out the game these past 2 weeks. You know, a week off, getting that 1 seed. You don't play for a week because of the play-in tournament, so you got to stay warm. And if there's a team that was staying warm, it was definitely Origin. They're playing nearly every night, so don't expect them to be too rusty, which I feel like we've seen so far, like we might see with some 1 seeds. But Origin so far so decent as they hold on to a 2-1 lead. This ball in midfield, though, gonna be blocked away by Waffles. As Bry trying to keep it in now. A minute remaining. Faded looking to tie this one up, but Frosty gonna send that one away to the side. Sweeney gonna get a touch. Here comes Waffles hunting for the ball, trying to get in the midfield. A pass comes across there. Volkron can't quite make the touch. Frosty gonna have to dive to keep that one in, as that one could have been a huge opportunity, but Gallium down to the final 30 seconds. Faded needed goal to equalize.
Man, I think this goal is going to come from Kyler, my former teammate. I mean, he's so good in clutch situations. Has scored, I think, 2 game-clinching goals for us back on Ember, and I think he's going to do it again here.
He very well may be that guy here. We're going to have to see in the final seconds as another demo comes through. Waffles putting on a demo clinic here. This one sent up high. Final 10 seconds now. Faded off to the side. Waffles going to land on that ball. It's going to stay in the Faded zone. Time ticking away off the backboard. Trying to keep this one on the ground is Origin there, and it will touch, and they come through with the Game 1 victory.
A big Game 1 victory against this Faded team who hasn't really had to face that much adversity besides that last play-in match, but there's a little bit of some roster issues there. Origin, they played a much better game than Faded did this time around. I mean, you can definitely see where the experience comes in from them. I mean, heck, they've been playing for so long with each other, they basically know everything about each other at this point. So I feel like it's definitely going to benefit them to keep playing that rotational game. And if you can out rotate Faded, I believe, in my personal opinion, Origin is the best rotational team in Prospect. A lot of people say Minotaurs, but I think Origin, because they're just so well coordinated as well as just really fast on the ball. And you're not going to see that a whole lot in some of the other leagues even. They're just so well rounded. And if Faded want to come out here and attack this Origin team, they're going to have to out mechanical them. As shallow as that sounds and how just unrealistic it sounds and a horrible take, but I think that they should just go out there, and they have better mechanics than Origin. I think they should definitely utilize them to their fullest ability, Rockerman.
Yeah, definitely. And, that's how you can take down a rotational team is, pull out some mechanics that maybe the other team isn't quite expecting. So, I'm going to agree with you there. And, for Faded, we'll see what they can do. And, they've got some players that can pull the mechanics out. I mentioned Kyler, mentioned Bry. I don't know too much about Volcron, but I've heard their name around the league. So they do have some mechanical players, but, it's going to come down to, can they pull that out here? And really, all things considered, Gallium, in that last game, I mean, they kept it close. It was a 2-1 game. Origin just had that early lead, and they just didn't give up with the rotation that they had.
No, they didn't, and that's the key difference separating both these teams right now is a game. And now in game 2, Faded definitely looking to win this one, as it would tie the series up and not lead to another disappointment, as Bry almost hit that one. That would have been insane. And Frosty gonna send it down, but Rockerman, I mean, Faded, they have to really bounce back in this game. And do you have any other keys for them to do so?
I mean, I think, for Faded here, got to watch out for these demos. And, like you said, I think the mechanics trying to play fast could get Origin off guard, but Frosty with the redirect there, going to start things off big in game 2.
Yeehaw, Cowboy. Frosty with a beautiful pass to Dr. Waffles. I mean, I'm second in assists per game. And do you want to know who's first, Rockerman? Take a wild guess.
It might be one of these guys on Origin if I was a betting man.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps the man who passed Frosty the ball, Dr. Waffles, proving why waffles are better than pancakes. Is, oh my goodness, a shot coming out there. Bry gonna have a nice save. But as this play settles down, it's looking like Origin has a little bit of the upper hand here.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned Waffles. He's leading the Prospect League with 0.85 assists. And there's another goal from Frosty, he's putting in some goals as Waffles. He does get another assist.
What a beautiful shot from Frost. I mean, he's really showing up. I mean, he usually goes the Batmobile, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, I mean, both him and Volcron not using their normal cars, you have to think maybe they're just in full playoff mode right now. Is this really going to be the battle between Dr. Waffles and Bry, or is this the battle between Volcron and Frosty? Is my question to you, Rocker.
Yeah, it very well may be. It's a nice pass attempt, comes down. Volcron can't quite handle it. But yeah, I think Frosty is one of these unsung heroes on Origin. You heard about Sweeney getting the MVP, and Dr. Waffles had a big season last season. But it's this man right here with the hat trick, Frosty.
Giddy up, folks. Hat trick. And it is the first of many for this Origin team, if this continues how it's continuing. Now, it's not over yet. 3 minutes, 44 seconds left. This Faded team could 100% come back into this, but it's just a matter of willpower. And I know it is hard to get your mentality to switch up after that, but I think it's really in Faded's best interest to take it one goal at a time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's only been a minute 30 here. Origin has already striked 3 times, and they're looking for a 4th here. If you're Faded, you got to stop the bleeding early and try to get one back here as they're up for this one. Bry off the backboard. Can he find this read? Oh, yes, he can.
That's disgusting. Oh, my goodness. Somebody call the cops. Get this man arrested. He should not be on the pitch playing tonight. That was absolutely disgusting. Up with the ball. Comes right back down with it. The control in the air. And Faded, they're doing more than taking it one goal at a time. They're doing it with style.
Yeah, and that's what we mentioned, Gallium, at the end of this last game is, Faded, they have the mechanics, and you saw it there from Bry, who finds that double tap read. And if they can pull up more of those plays, stay mechanical, they could definitely bring it back here in this game too. It is far from over. A lot of time left as Volcron gonna get a touch. Ball finds its way into the Faded corner. As this one could be dunked towards the net, and Mr. Waffles, he is huge right there with the dunk.
the doctor of waffles doing his work once more. And it wasn't necessarily a calculated shot, but it was a very, very good 50. And I will say that is Origin's strength and Dr. Waffles' immediate strength. And it just showed off there how great Origin really is. I mean, you do not have to be necessarily the most mechanical player on the pitch to be really the best player on the pitch, Rockerman.
Yeah, that's very true here. As Origin, they find their fourth here, but a demo can open up some space. Waffles gonna have to make this touch. It falls in the midfield, Faded trying to turn around and get towards the net, but Sweeney gonna make that clears. Faded really trying to put the pressure on as we approach halfway in game number 2 here. This ball gonna be stopped to the side. Frosty send this one up. Waffles with a demo opens up some space. Oh, what a huge save. Volcron back just in time there. As Waffles back up for this one. Gonna be able to send this one off to the side. As the ball comes through, gonna be sent across the midfield. Waffles popping it up. Sweeney looking for this one, trying to pass it over to Waffles. Gonna drop it down, and it's gonna work out. The passing plays. You can see the cohesion.
That was gross. I mean, you wouldn't expect anything less from a first seed, right? I mean, they just look phenomenal right now. Absolutely putting it to this Faded team, and they looked pretty good coming into this match. So we'll see if this lead stands, if they will potentially call a timeout. I've been harping on timeouts, I feel like, this entire playoffs, because I really wanted to get it into not only these players' heads, but into other people who are watching heads that timeouts are available. But Volcron, he's going to put one in the back of the net, and maybe the timeout might be avoidable.
Yeah, Bry with a nice little pass out here in Volcron. Quick speed, and that's what they need here if you're Faded. Get that speed up, get a goal in the back of the net, and with just under 2 minutes remaining, 3 goals is definitely doable here. But they're going to want to strike back quick here as a good 50 goes their way. Bry looking for the shot off the backboard. Follow-up attempt. But Frosty going to clear it to the side for the moment as a bump attempt comes through. Oh, almost going to find its way through. That one would have led to a goal if the bump came across, but not meant to be that time. As now Faded back in their zone. Bry taking this one up. Going to get it by 1. Trying to stay with a second. Going to find a flip reset. He's by 2, but Sweeney right there in the midfield. But this one could lead to an opportunity, but Volcron can't quite get it on target. As Faded still trying to push the pace here. This one gonna be saved away by Frosty. Kyler there, a demo is gonna come through, gonna clear one out. Sweeney takes one out. As this one gonna be sent down and looking like a possible pinch attempt, but it could just lead to a goal. Frosty has to raise it back, but this one gonna be sent on. It's off the crossbar.
What?
As Faded still trying to put it on here, but that one gonna be cleared away.
That was so unlucky, but wait, luck might be on their side once more. Volcron gonna get a Dr. Waffles-esque pinch, and the roles were reversed there.
Yeah, that one just pinches right on net by the defender, and Waffles, he thought he had time to get some boost there, but he did not, and Faded gonna bring it back now with 56 seconds, only down by 2 here. Gonna have to make some more magic happen, as this one gonna work in their favor. Volcron gonna send it down towards the Origin end. Volcron can't quite connect the Waffles. Trying to get to that one, but Kyler all over him. This one, Bry trying to send it back in. Frosty gonna clear this one out in the midfield. Just wasted some time. Sweeney's gonna pop it up high, looking for Frosty. It's not gonna go. The fake comes through, maybe, and Waffles gonna put it in. Calculated or not, it works out for Origin.
And Air Sweeney should change his name to Ground Sweeney. What a pop. Dr. Waffles gonna send this one top left corner. Oh man, that one warms my heart. Just seeing beautiful shooting from Origin, and with a 6-3 game now with 35 seconds left, I think it's all but over.
Yeah, it might be looking to go next here in this one, but we'll have to see if Faded can find any momentum to end this game off here as Waffles trying to keep it in, looking for the dunk. Oh my goodness, he just put it on his head.
I mean, the Australia flag is really ironic, right? I mean, he went down under Volcron and got that beautiful touch from an Air Sweeney pass once more. I mean, it's just goals from all 3 of the players, assists from all 3 of the players. They do the same exact role. I feel like they're just the same player overall, Rockerman.
Yeah, and I mean, that is, when you're in, league like Prospect League, if you can, get 3 solid players like these 3, you can kind of see what the results will show for you as we're down in the final seconds here of game number 2. And Origin gonna take this game 2 victory, gonna go up 2-0 in the series here. Is Faded looking for one for the road. Volcron.
Oh no.
That was gonna hit the ground, but didn't quite matter there. But they know they had a goal there if there was 1 more second on the clock. But not meant to be, as Origin, they take this victory, and you got the timeout's got to be coming right here, Gallium. You would think.
Yeah, you would think indeed, but I mean, I'm not really sure if any of these players are on PC, so we'll see if they can even call a timeout.
They are. One of them typed in chat to me.
One of them, okay,
Yeah.
okay, sounds good. At least we know they are able to. But we almost saw the no timeout buff work actually for diversion, that Titan League matchup on Monday. It worked actually immediately after. In that game 5, they won 7-1 against a team who's beating them pretty badly. But then the next game, they got beat pretty badly in that one. So it has its pros and its cons, as Kyler is going to be subbed out here for Boltend. Boltend was going to be the projected starter for this game, but Kyler took the reins, and I really like Kyler. I'm not completely sure why he's getting subbed out. I really like him as a player. He's really rotational. Maybe it's just not his day, but
Yeah.
Bolton bringing new life into this Faded team.
Yeah, and not opting for the timeout here, but instead just going for the roster switch up, and that could be the move here. You never know. You never know how it's gonna quite work out here, but as we head into this game number 3, for Faded's sake, you hope that this is the move that they need here. You hope that the sub, provides some energy for the team here. That's really what they need right now.
Yeah, that is really, I think, what any team who's down 2-0 needs, and let alone Faded, as Bolton getting in a nice flick early on. He's already making a little bit of an impact here. He kind of struggled in the play-in game early on, but he found his momentum. We'll see if that kind of reverses here. It looks like he's much better now, but as I say that, Frosty, the placement, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, Frosty, he has been a shooter in this series, and look at this one. By both the defenders, just tossing it towards net, and it's just in the right spot to work out for them. As another goal, another start, and if you were Faded, I was gonna say I didn't even really get the chance to say it, Gallium, but they needed to score early and get an early lead here.
Yeah, that is a very good piece of advice. I mean, you've been there, done that. I mean, you've won 9 All-Stars in a row. You know what it takes to win, and that, oh my goodness! Dr. Awful is almost having a shot. Frosty puts it off the backboard. Oh my goodness! The misses are coming out, but hey, they're just getting it out of their system. As Faded, they're going the other way, but I think that is a good key to winning, getting on the scoreboard early on. We haven't really seen that in this series.
Yeah, no, Faded has been unable to strike first, and when you're the lower seed here, you're already playing from behind here. As the A seed, no one thinks that you're gonna win. No one thinks you're gonna beat the number 1 seed. An own goal comes through, as that one tried to be saved off, but Volcron gonna get credit.
Man, unfortunate coming out from Eris Sweeney. I mean, nothing really much he could do about that. Not even sure if that was 100% gonna go in, but hey, made a defensive play, and you got to commit to the ball, and that's exactly what he did. Caught on the back foot there. A little bit of some worrying signs from Origin, but hopefully they bounce back, Ruckerman.
Yeah, and we saw the open net miss earlier too, so hopefully both those plays don't come back to bite him here in this game 3. Faded, for their sake, gonna try to take full advantage, as Bry gonna get it by the defense, looking to shoot it on net, and the placement comes through. Faded takes the lead.
Man, that was just ridiculous. The pop over Frosty, and then Eris Sweeney just tried to get back to that one, but the placement, it's too good. And Dr. Waffles, I think Bry had an apple, because Dr. Waffles was well away from that one.
Yeah, and that's a struggle sometimes, in a way you could possibly get to Origin, as Dr. Waffles, being a demo leader, and pretty much with anyone that demos a lot, they could put themselves out of rotation to find a demo to try to open up space. So if you can take advantage of the second or third man there, you can lead to some goals there for sure, as this ball floating in the Origin zone yet again. But it's going to be cleared away for the moment. Bolten is going to fall right into Waffles there, as this one off the backboard. Volcron with a good clear, able to send that one away. Bolten again, gonna find that touch. This ball pops up. Waffles send it up high. Gonna try to stay with it. Gonna look to go under maybe, but this one right out to Frosty. Looking for the shot. The placement again. Frosty. This man is having a shooting day right here.
And I'm not sure if that's a soccer ball or a basketball at this point. Frosty utilizing the bounce shot, underrated shot, and Bry expected a shot right up high, and that's not what he got at all. Is Frosty gonna put it bottom right and get this to a tie game here, Rockerman?
Yeah, tied ball game here. in this game number 3. Faded looking to avoid going down 0-3 in this series. You do not want to be that team that goes down 0-3. It is a death sentence when it comes to Nemesis Rocket League. Only 3 ever reverse sweeps in the playoffs, and that is in 9 seasons. So, you know, Callium, you cannot afford to go down 3-0 in this series.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure who got the reverse sweeps or in what league, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't in the Prospect League. So this could be an opportunity if they go down 3-0 to maybe get that first reverse sweep. But they have to focus on this game 3 for now, and it's going decently well, but I don't think it's going exceptionally well. I would have really liked for them to come out of the gates hotter, but now they have an opportunity with a little over 2 minutes left to really get something going.
Yeah, there have only been 3 ever. 2 of them were in the rival league, actually, and 1 we actually saw last season in the first ever Provisional League Grand Finals, where Wolfpack came back and reverse swept. So never been done in the Prospect League, and you know, you don't want to even get to that point. They're not even thinking about that in this game number 3 right now. They're focusing on surviving here and get another goal. And this one sent down towards the net. Frosty has to make the touch, but he can't. Volcron gonna find it home, and they take the lead.
Placement is so key. And Volcron, you can't place this ball any better than he did. Bottom left corner, bouncing off the post and in. And now Faded has a lead. We'll see if it sticks.
Yeah, 3-2 lead with 1:44 remaining here. They need this game to get back in this series. Can they hold on, or will Origin be able to bring it back? This one, shot towards the net. Bry can't make the touch, and Sweeney puts it home. An answer immediate.
A diabolical shot. Volcron gets a defensive touch, but he has a little bit of trouble coming off the wall, and Brian Boltend, double Bs, they can't get back to that one.
And Origin, an immediate answer there, ties this game right back up at 3. And now Faded, once again, they have to make something happen here if they're going to want to get a game in this series. This ball sent across the midfield. Sweeney going to send it down. Boltend on the catch there. Waffles going to try to dive in. This one pops up high. Waffles trying to keep it in the midfield there. This one drops down. Frosty going to get beat out there, but Sweeney in the right spot there is Waffles going to find a nice touch there as it sends it across. And this comes through. Could lead to something there. A couple misses coming through there. Both teams not wanting to touch that ball in the midfield, as now it's going to set up an opportunity for Faded. This one going towards the midfield, but Waffles going to shut it down for the moment. As they're down to a minute remaining here. Faded and Origin tied up in game number 3 here, Gallium. And this goal is so important for Faded if they can pull one through.
Yes, it really is. And we'll see if Faded can actually hold on as, oh no! A defensive mistake leads to a late Origin lead.
And it's another hat trick for that man right there, Frosty. You see Sweeney beat the last defender, and Frosty, he's going to knock that one and secure it. And it's a 4-3 lead with 43 seconds left. And again, Faded, they had to pull out some magic.
Man, Frosty, I mean, I genuinely did not know he was this good of a goal scorer. I thought he was more on the support side of things, but it's really been him just taking these really good shots, and he's been so good. And another good shot down the pitch. Will it get there? It won't, and with a little less than 30 seconds remaining, both teams battling it out to the very end.
Yeah, now it's Faded. They have to find an answer here. Cannot afford to go down 0-3. 20 seconds left. Origin just going to try to run down this time. This ball popped up. You see Bry trying to stick with it. It's out of the midfield. Waffles with an opportunity to put the dagger in, but Volcron with a huge save. But back comes Frosty, and that one in the middle. Frosty, another one goes through for the dagger.
Man, Wendy's is calling 4 for 4, now available with the side of a Frosty. Look at him go. The just goals coming out, and I mean, he's just been so good all game long. 6 seconds left. Can Faded score 2 goals?
Well, I'm going to have to lean towards no here, but anything's possible, but not anymore as Faded. They are going to drop down 0-3 in this series, and, you know, for now, Gallium, the timeout has to come through. You know, no matter what, it has to come through. If you want any chance here, you gotta say timeout in the chat. But you know, I mean, Origin, they're just doing what they gotta do, and it's led by that guy Frosty. And I mean, look at those shots, Gallium.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really else you can say about Frosty other than he's just so dominant on the pitch. I mean, we saw him just basically everywhere in front of the Faded net. I mean, he was just so clutch when it came to shooting. And if you have a guy who can finish like Frosty finishes, it's so good to get on the board like that. And Faded, they put up a decent amount of goals. They had 3 goals, but I just feel like it wasn't enough. And it obviously wasn't enough to win this game 3. And you have to also take into account that one of their goals was an own goal. So not enough offensive production is the real killer for Faded, as well as mistakes. As Bry is going to call a timeout, we are going to eventually get back into this action. But Faded has a little bit of time to regroup and recuperate, which is very good for their sake. So while we take this timeout, we can kind of dive into this one a little more. Now, Origin have won 3 in a row. All right, this was... I personally did not expect this coming out. I thought Faded was going to put up a much better fight than this. And I think the real reason why is how dominant they were when they were in the offensive zone. And if you've noticed, they haven't been in the offensive zone a whole lot. It's been more Origin on the other end. And if you get Faded into those uncomfortable situations, they're going to mess up more times than they aren't. And I think that's what Origin's doing so well, and that's stopping Faded right now. So I think they really need to talk it out and adjust to it, Rockerman.
Yeah, and at the very least with this timeout, what it does is it's gonna stop some of that Origin momentum. I mean, they've just been rolling. It seems like everything has gone their way. The 50s have gone their way. The shots have gone their way. And the one thing about this Origin squad is you're prepping for someone like Sweeney or Waffles to really put the mechanics on you, but they've been getting taken down by Frosty here, who I've been very surprised with his performance here to put all these goals in. Not to say he's a bad player, but he's usually that support guy like we mentioned, and for him to put in all these goals, it's one of those things where it seems like any day one of these 3 can pop off, and maybe you got a game plan to stop Frosty, right here, whatever you got to do. But Gallium, they're gonna have to do it, and they're gonna have to do it right now, as they have to pull back what has only been done 3 times in Nemesis history, the reverse sweep.
That is such a tall task, especially for this Faded team who hasn't been playing that much with each other this season. We'll see if it's possible as early on. Oh, looking a little bit dire. Frosty with a shot now, but wait, it's going the other way. Dr. Waffles gonna 50 it out, and as that commotion kind of settles down there, we're seeing a little bit of some early signs of life for Faded, but it's mostly been Origin early on.
Yeah, they had it towards the net, but wait a minute, right back here, Faded has an opportunity, but not quite gonna go as a double commit comes through here. Volcron diving in, hoping to keep this pressure on. That's what they got to do. Keep the pressure, keep those mechanics there. Is this one in the midfield? Gonna be a demo coming through. Gonna try to open up some space, but it's right to Sweeney, who's taking a shot at net. Double commit comes out from Faded. So they try to get this one away. Here comes Waffles, throw it off the backward with Bolton. Good positioning there. Able to get it by 1. It's just Sweeney in the back. He's gonna try to bump him out of the way. Can Bry take a shot here? No, Waffles gonna shut it down. And a minute in so far, both these teams, they've had their opportunities here, Gallium, but no one able to get on the scoreboard.
No, and I feel like that's been to do with both the great defenses, but oh my goodness, what a bump from Dr. Waffles, and what a put away for A.R. Sweeney.
Yeah, and poor Bry here, he's just fighting against Dr. Waffles on the back end, and Sweeney just muscles his way through with that goal. And Origin starting out strong, looking to get the brooms out.
They're so good, and I hate to just keep harping on them like this, but they've really looked incredible, especially with Dr. Waffles and that pass that he provided. Granted, I don't think he really meant to get that last touch, but he's so disruptive, and even it was just, it's always been 3 passes or 2 passes and then a shot for Origin. It's never been more or less for them. So I think they have a formula. It's just about time that Faded figures it out.
Yeah, and for Faded, maybe try to find some demos. They were getting some bumps early in this game, and it was kind of almost opening up some space. And if they can cut one of those members out of the rotation there, it could lead to something on the offensive end for him. As this ball up high off the backboard, here comes Waffles, gonna put it in. He is too quick, and he finds another goal.
Yeah, some interesting rotations going on for the Faded side as Dr. Waffles, man, he's just so fast to the ball, and his shooting is excellent in the air, and that's gonna put another nail into this already pretty tight coffin here. And I feel like for Faded, their rotations just are off, so off, in fact, that they don't even stand a chance right now. I mean, I know that's harsh, but they really are getting absolutely throttled just on the rotations. It feels like they're in this one mechanically, and even like their play styles, I feel like match up well with Origin, but they're just getting out rotated, and it's so glaringly obvious.
Yeah, you can see it, and you mentioned it. Only playing 2 matches together. In the play-ins there, as a couple of misses come through on that end. Only playing those 2 matches at the end of the season with this roster. You can definitely see it as compared to a team who's been playing for a season and a half together. You can definitely see the cohesion difference here. And right now, it has led to a 2-0 Origin lead here, looking to pull out the sweep, but Faded, they are not going to give up here. They are putting this ball in the offensive zone, trying to get this one down, but it's going to be saved off to the side. Another attempt here, hard off the backboard, try to 50 it through. This one into the corner. Origin, a little bit of a double commit. Could be a dangerous ball, but Waffles does well to get that one in the corner. As Bry now trying to take control. This one to the backboard. Frosty going to get a touch. Volcron off the sidewall. This one up in the midfield, but it's going to be cleared back down, and the time is ticking here, Gallium, for this Faded squad. They have to find 2 goals, and it seems like Origin is locking down right now on the defensive end.
Yeah, they are really doing a swell job of just locking down, making sure no goals pass through. And I feel like if they win this game and sweep this Faded roster, I don't really know if there's a team who can take them down. You either have to out-mechanical them, which Faded are doing, but it is just not working at all because of just how great of rotations they have, or you have to have better rotations, and I don't think anybody's surmounting to that. So hopefully this lead sticks for them so they can move on to the semifinals for the first time in a little bit, I believe, Rockerman.
Yeah, definitely so. Trying to make it to that semifinals appearance here. Is this one going to float towards it? And a huge miss, and Waffles puts another one in, and that may very well be the dagger here under a minute remaining.
What a defensive blunder from Boltend. He can't quite find the touch, and that is another Faded blunder, and that might be the dagger right there, as Origin up 3-0 with less than a minute to go. Faded, they're going to have to pull out the miracle of miracles.
Yeah, they will have to pull out a miracle here, but can they do it here? That's what we're trying to find out, as Origin looking to make their 2nd straight semifinals appearance. As this one, can we dribble towards the net? Wait a minute, Bry.
Oh.
He's going to find one here. Maybe not too late here, but 41 seconds left. They find one through.
Origin has to lock down here because Faded, they're full of surprises, and Bry, he's going to surprise them on this one. Hasn't really shown up a whole ton in this series, but if this is any time to show up, it's got to be now.
It has to be now, and it has to be within 40 seconds here, as they need to find 2 more goals here to at least force overtime. This ball, a miss comes through the midfield. Waffles going to try to take control. This ball's dunked up high. It's a great opportunity here in front of the net there. Origin going to double commit, wasting some boost out there. 30 seconds now. This ball popped up towards net. Frosty, he's going to make a touch, but Faded, they got to put the pressure on, trying to stay with this ball as Bry. It's off the backboard. Got to see a shot here. Not quite going to find it, as this one's sent down. Precious seconds ticking away here for Faded. They got to look for something, as this ball just waiting in the midfield. Waffles trying to waste the time. It's going to lead for one more opportunity, but can they find 2 goals? High off the ceiling, trying to drop it down. Looking for a follow-up shot. Can they put it in? Off the crossbar. No. And that is going to do it there. Origin is going to sweep Faded out of the playoffs.
Man, I was not expecting that result. Now, I think Faded put up an excellent performance. I mean, despite all they had to overcome with their roster, and I mean, they basically got glued together at the end of the season. They put up a fight against an Origin team who, in my opinion, was just miles above them in this series. And I feel like Faded, they just didn't really have it in them today. And I don't really think if even on their best day, they could have taken down this Origin team. So I really like this performance. And now moving on, Origin faces Banshees in the semifinals, and that one's going to be a good one to watch, Ruckerman.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good one. And, you mentioned that. Why don't we take another quick look at the playoff bracket here, as yeah, it's gonna be a spicy one out there in the semifinals, as Origin, they will be moving on there to that semifinal matchup against the Banshees and Gallium. This is one of those ones, the one thing you get in the playoffs sometimes, you get those divisional rivalries here, and Origin versus Banshees. They have played each other twice this season, so they are very, very familiar with each other. And, with the way the Banshees showed some resolve in that series on Monday there to bring back the Game 7, they could definitely give this Origin team a run for their money.
Yeah, they definitely could. And I think this is going to be a great matchup because even though Origin and Banshees have played each other twice this season, I'm not sure with the same Banshees roster. Allen and Creed, new additions to the Banshees, as well as Psycho to round out their top three. And they went up against a Melons team who have been playing with each other all season long. Same kind of deal as Origin. And they really brought it to them. Down 3-1 in the series. In game number 5, they were down actually by 2 in that game. And they came all the way back to win it in game 7. So they definitely have the mental fortitude to beat this Origin team, but I guess we're gonna have to wait to find out on that one.
Yeah, we definitely will. And yeah, Origin, they actually split the season series with the Banshees, but they won the most recent matchup, the very final day of the regular season. Origin took down the Banshees, but the Banshees, they are going to be hungry to try to take them down. And, Gallium, though, with the way, I mean, again, Banshees, they could take it to them, but with the way Origin performed in this matchup, they seem, like the clear favorites.
Yeah, they definitely do. I mean, just excellent play by them. I just don't think Faded were up to the task, and I'm not really sure about the Kyler substitution out. I mean, obviously he's my former teammate, and I have nothing but love and respect for that Faded team, but I just didn't really understand it at the time. I thought he was playing pretty well, but who knows? I mean, I didn't even make play-ins. I'm not even gonna give my take on that one. But as this playoffs just kind of unfolds, Prospect is going to be a very interesting one because there's so many heavyweights in that one, as well as I feel like some sleeper picks going out. So make sure you stay tuned for more Prospect action as it unfolds, as I believe we don't have any more Prospect games today. But later in the week, we're going to have some absolute bangers for you guys.
Yeah, we definitely will. And speaking of bangers, Gallium, while we have a little bit of time here, coming up on the next matchup, I know you're going to be back here to talk about this next matchup with Mr. Psychonautic. But this next matchup, we mentioned division rivalry, and this is another Graveyard Shift Evolution division rivalry here that we're going to see in the playoffs. We got Wisps versus Genesis here, and this one is looking to be another spicy one. Our first, I believe it's our first 4-5 matchup of the playoffs.
Yeah, a really insane matchup. As I believe this is actually our second one
Okay.
because Banshees and Melons.
Oh,
but
yep, you're right. You're right.
but this one's gonna be, I think, how that one went to game 7. I feel like this is gonna be kind of the same deal. I mean, Genesis has so many icons in the league. I mean, you have Parallax, who's been in the league since I don't even know how long. Icarus as well, who's been just a novice legend, and Malo, the management beast over there. And JK, I'm a little unfamiliar with, but with those 4 players, I feel like Genesis could definitely put up a fight against a Wisps team who I feel like is one of the more mechanical teams in Novice.
Yeah, definitely so. And I mean, we're gonna have to see. It is gonna be a good one to say the least here, as that's where we're gonna be heading next to that novice league, where it is gonna be spicy. And yeah, well, that's gonna wrap it up here for this first matchup. Congratulations to Origin, moving on to the semifinals yet again. Can they pull out the third ever championship for that Origin squad? Trying to make that dynasty work out there, but can they do it? We'll have to find out. And we're gonna be coming back in just about 15 minutes or so. So stick around here. We're gonna be heading to that novice league where it's gonna be a spicy one, Wisp versus Genesis. You guys do not want to miss it. So make sure you guys stick around, and we'll see you guys in a little bit.